There are some exclusive Pokemon only found in the Great Marsh and the Safari Zone game in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Today, we're going to dissect this area and take a look at how you can get your hands on these Pokemon. Welcome back to Bridgeport Games. I'm Tom, and today we're going to talk about everything that you need to know about the Great Marsh and the Safari Zone game. And that's going to include the game and how it works, as well as navigation around the areas, the binoculars and observation deck, and how we can scout out for the Pokemon that we are looking for, the exclusive Pokemon that, as of recording this, are only available in this area, not anywhere else, including the Grand Underground, as well as some truths and myths about time skipping in this particular area, and we'll round it off with some fishing tips as well for those Pokemon. So hope you're strapped in for this one, because this was a deep dive that I really wanted to do, understanding that there are certain Pokemon that are only found in here. I really wanted to just kind of dissect this area and figure out how it works most efficiently, and pass that information on to everyone. So we'll jump in here with the Safari Zone game. First, you're going to fly over to Pastoria City, and you are going to come up here into this building. You're going to see these two NPC characters behind this desk. The first one is going to explain to you in detail how this game works, and the second one is going to take your 500 Pokédollars. And it does cost 500 Pokédollars to walk in here, but you can walk in here as many times as you want as long as you have that $500. Another thing about the Safari Zone and the Great Marsh is that you are not actually battling Pokemon in here. It is catch only, so it doesn't matter what you have in your party, because there's no battling, there's no status conditions to hand out. As well, the Pokemon are actually able to flee, and at the end of the interaction, even if you catch it, none of the Pokemon in your party even gets experience points. So because of those nuances, it does make it a little bit of an inconsistent shiny hunting method, because of what it can take to get a full odds shiny in here. You cannot use the Poke Radar, and then for that Pokemon to potentially flee would be pretty devastating if you put in a lot of work. But there are a couple things that you can do to impact the catch rate and the flee rate. There's an option for baiting a Pokemon, which increases the chance of your Pokemon fleeing, but also increases the chance of you successfully catching it. And there is Mud, which you can throw at your Pokemon to decrease the chance of the Pokemon fleeing, but it decreases the chance of successfully being able to catch it with a ball. Essentially, I try this multiple ways throughout mine, and I prefer to just leave the bait and the mud alone and throw a Pokeball. The Pokemon that you find in this area, while they are exclusive, once you find them, it's actually not all that difficult to kind of continuously farm until you're able to catch it. And so as long as it's not something incredibly important, like a full odd shiny, then I would stay away from those. You know, it's just a personal recommendation. It's not really necessary to use the bait or the mud. It's really just a waste of a turn. Next up, we're going to talk about how to find out which Pokemon are available to you on a rotating daily basis through the observation deck and the binoculars. And so what we're going to do is go up to the second level, and we are going to look through these binoculars. Now, the binoculars are going to show the specific areas in which the Pokemon are going to spawn for that day. Side note is that you don't need the binoculars. You can just go and kind of freelance it. You can just run around and see what you catch if that's what you want to do. But if you want to save time, run up to the binoculars and check out where those Pokemon are. Now, you're also going to have to look through the binoculars multiple times to see which Pokemon are available to you. It's only going to show you 5 clips at a time, and there could be multiple Pokemon hiding in those areas. So the way that I did it in a lot of the farming was to really kind of go through and look through each set of binoculars 3, sometimes 4 times to see which Pokemon are going to be available to me that day in what specific area. Once you find those Pokemon in that area, then you can simply go into the Safari Zone game, head over to that specific area, and walk around and find the Pokemon. Now, I'll also say that each Pokemon, when they are available in that area, even if they are available in that area, do only have about a 10% chance of showing up. So keep in mind that that spawn rate, you may have to circle around, run around a little bit to try and find the right Pokemon. You may initially not come up on the right Pokemon. In rare instances, I've even ran out of steps prior to being able to find the Pokemon that I was looking for. It's rare, but it happens. And if so, all you need to do, pay your $500 again, go back to that area, and just start refarming. Those spawns are going to stay in the same spot for the entire day. What I found is that you're going to have probably about 3 to 4 of the rare spawns every day, and they're not going to rotate no matter what. And that kind of leads into the next topic that I want to talk about, which is time skipping. When I first entered into this area, I was under the impression, just based on some of the research that I had done, that you were able to time skip this and impact which Pokemon are going to be available to you. I want to say that based on my research, and I actually had a couple independent people help me out with this endeavor to search and to look through, that time skipping does not actually impact this at all. Along the way, I started off, I had Toxicroak, Golduck, and Scorpy, as well as Gulpin in my primary game, and that is with the National Dex unlocked. And I time skipped for about a month and a half, and I did not find anything different from a rare spawn standpoint than those 4 particular Pokemon. Time skipping in Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl is one of those things that, like, it only limitedly works, and I tried it 3 different ways. So I tried it the traditional way of time skipping right next to the binoculars, and then re-looking through the binoculars, and every set of binoculars 5 times to see if the Pokemon changed. They did not. The second way that I tried it is I tried time skipping and then leaving the room and then coming back into the room and re-looking at it, and it still was not impacted. And the final way that I looked at this, because I know that the one successful time skipping method in this game is to get Drifblim. And to do that, the Drifblim trick is you actually set the clock to 11:59 the day before Friday, so Thursday, 11:59 p.m. You wait a minute, you go into the Valley Windworks, come out of the Valley Windworks, and time skipping does prompt that Drifblim. And so what I did was I went downstairs, I time skipped to 11:59 p.m., waited downstairs a full minute, and then went back upstairs then to give a full reset of that game, and then went in and looked through the binoculars and still found the same result. I'm pretty confident when I say that on the research that I did, that time skipping did not ever change the Pokemon that were available to me in the game for that day. So I did see that time skipping did work. However, I think it just may be a byproduct of the fact that there's multiple rare Pokemon that are available to you in a given day. So if you look through the binoculars and you see a Toxicroak, and then you time skip and you look through and you see a Carvanine, you may think that the time skip actually impacted your Pokemon, but you're actually stuck with the Toxicroak and the Carvanine indefinitely for that entire day. So if anyone has any additional information regarding the time skipping in this particular area, I'd be glad to review it. But from the independent research that I did and we did here on Bridge 4 Games, I'm going to say that this one is debunked, and time skipping does not impact and change the outcome of the Pokemon that you have available to you for that game. Now, the one area that it did work is the time of day, and I noticed that, and I thought it was kind of odd that it does not impact the Pokemon rotation, but there is an exclusive daytime Pokemon, which is Budew, and there is a nighttime Pokemon, which is Hoot. When I set the clock into the daytime, I did find the Budew, and when I did set the clock into the nighttime hours, it did change over the way that it looked. It got dark, and then Hoot, Noctowl were then available. So that is the only way that time skipping really impacted anything, was when I was looking for time of day, and those are the only Pokemon that did change along with the clock, was the Budew in the daytime and the Noctowl in the nighttime. Next, we're going to talk about the exclusive Pokemon to this area. Now, when you first get access to this area, there are 23 Pokemon that are going to be available to you in the Great Marsh area. And when you get access to the National Dex, and also at that point the Super Rod, you will then have 8 additional Pokemon that will be available to you in the game. Now, of those 31 total Pokemon, there are only 6 that are exclusive to this area, and the other ones are really pretty common. So the 6 Pokemon that we're very interested in are Carvanine, which is exclusive to the Sinnoh Pokedex, and on the National Pokedex standpoint, it is Execute, Kangaskhan, Shroomish, Gulpin, and Yanma. Now, through the research that I was doing, again, I had Mike and Blaine on Bridge 4 Games, as well as my friend Trace, that were looking into this and looking to see what Pokemon that we had available. We were actually able to capture all of the exclusive Pokemon with exception of Yanma, which I would imagine between the 4 of us is going to come into rotation in the next day or so. With that being said, once you're able to find one, you can breed them out and share with the rest of your pals. So we were able to successfully find Execute, Kangaskhan, Shroomish, Gulpin, and Carvanine, only currently missing Yanma, which again I'm confident we'll be able to close the gap on going forward. The last thing I want to touch on is fishing in the Great Marsh, which there are multiple areas where you can find a lake here and go fishing. Now, the different lakes don't really matter as far as what spawns come in. There are only 5 fish spawns that are going to come up in the game, and the only impact to those is going to be what rod you're using. If you're using a good rod, then you can get a Magikarp, a Gyarados, or a Barboach. If you're using a super rod, then you can get a Gyarados, a Whiscash, or a Carvanha. So it's an easy way to get one of those Pokemon. However, hate to be Debbie Downer, but as far as a shiny hunting method, the only reason I'm going to recommend against this is because of the fact that the Pokemon can flee. And so this is going to be a full odds shiny if you're able to find it. It could take upwards of thousands of different encounters and spawns, and while that's available, because fishing in the pond doesn't count as steps and you have 30 Pokeballs, you just run away from one and find that shiny. The problem is, though, is the fact that the Pokemon can flee really make that a scary source. So if you are able to go through the full odd shiny, find a shiny Carvanha or Whiscash, only for that to run away, I would feel pretty bad about that. So I may look for other methods as far as how to shiny hunt in this area, but given the fact that these Pokemon are able to run away from you, and it happens pretty frequently, I would be a little bit cautious if I was to go shiny hunting in these areas. So that's it for everything that you need to know about the Great Marsh, and I hope this helps to streamline your experience in the Safari Zone game and in the Great Marsh to find these 6 exclusive Pokemon at least, and add them to your party, to your Pokedex, to your National Dex, and or Living Dex. So until next time, I'm Tom for Bridge 4 Games, and we'll see you guys in the next one.